Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to this webinar for Catch the Next. My name is Erin Doran. I'm the Director of Research and Evaluation for Catch the Next, and I will be facilitating today's webinar. Today is really exciting because we have two alumni from Austin Community College who can talk to us about our experience. I think, given the semester that we've had, the lack of contact that we've had face to face with students, it's nice to be able to reconnect with some students and to also hear about how the semester has impacted them. So before we shift over to our conversation with them, if you have attended the webinars before, what I'm about to say is probably repeat, but that's fine. For those of you who are new, I just want to say a bit about the webinar series. First, Catch the Next is a college readiness and completion organization that offers faculty, staff, and institutional support to promote the closing of equity and achievement gaps in higher education through professional development, peer mentoring and coaching, and our community college student program, the Ascendent program. This webinar is part of the Teaching and Learning for Student Success series that complements the professional development series by offering programming focused on the theory and implementation of student success initiatives in higher ed. Please visit our website, catchthenext.org, to learn more about our programs, to get involved, or to donate to support this and other programming. Some reminders about the webinar experience. Please note that everyone comes in on mute. That just helps us, especially just for ambient noises or things that might be disruptive. Also any feedback that might happen. So if you have a question during the presentation, please feel free to type it in the questions or the chat pane, and I will be reading it during the Q&A. We will also open up the Q&A session to folks if they want to be able to actually talk to the alumni. So if you have a microphone or you're using your phone, you can use the hand raise feature, and then I can unmute individuals so they can speak to us directly. If you have any technical issues during the webinar, you can also let me know via the chat feature, and I can try to figure out how to troubleshoot that with you. And then I will do my best to monitor my email during the webinar, but since I'm also moderating, that might be a little bit more difficult. Chat is the best way. Some other things, if you are active on social media, please feel free to connect with us. We have Facebook and Twitter pages. You can use the hashtag TLFSSchat. And then as far as announcements, first, Catch the Next is working on soliciting papers for the next issue of our Journal of Ideas and Pedagogy. So if you are interested in publishing, if you're interested in getting some ideas out there, please let me know. I would love to be a support person for you on this and to help develop an issue that is reflective of the incredible community that we have within CTN. And also, if you are from a college that has not attended one of our teaching institutes, we hope that you will consider joining our efforts. You can begin that conversation by reaching out to our CEO, Dr. Maria Marta Chavez, or by registering for our institutes. And then we also have customized coaching services that we offer through an effort called Next Ed. That can be found, or more information on that can be found on our website. Again, it's catchthenext.org under our programs. And then keep in mind that we have some events going on over the summer. Next week, the Transformative Motivational Conference that'll be on June 5th and all that. So please feel free to keep connected with us during the summer. So all that to get to the more important part of our presentation. Like I said, we have two alumni from Austin Community College. We have Josie Rodriguez and we also have David Bettis. Josie is not available, or her webcam, we're having technical difficulties there, but she can hear us. And then David, hopefully everybody can see you on the screen. So I would like to go ahead and give the opportunity to these students to introduce themselves. So David, would you like to start?
Yeah, my name is David Perez Alcantar. I am a first-generation student. I joined the Ascenders program in the fall 2019, and I'm earning a degree as a paralegal.
Excellent. Josie, how about you?
Hello, my name is Josie Rodriguez. I'm a first generation student and I am in the Ascender program earning my physical therapy assistant degree.
Excellent. So for the both of you, I think the first thing that I would like to ask you is what made you decide to enroll in college in the first place?
Who goes first?
Uh, David, go ahead.
It has always been a dream of mine going into college. I always wanted to go to university, but then it was a whole big transition from high school to a university, and also being like the first one for my whole family. I was like, oh, let's just go to a community college first, and then let's try it out. And I enjoy it. I enjoy being in ACC. It's a small school, and it's very, what was I saying? It's very, I don't know. It's very nice to connect with professors more. You know,
Mhm.
you get to interact more with other people and with the professors. So I like it.
Excellent. How about you, Josie?
The reason why I decided to go to college was because of my parents and they didn't have the opportunity that I have now. And it's something that I've been wanting since I was 9 years old to pursue a physical therapist degree.
Neat. Can you both tell me about how you first found out about the Ascender program? Like, who told you about it, and what did they tell you about it, and what you could expect?
There you go.
Yeah, I guess we've set a rhythm, right? So we're good.
When I registered for classes in the fall 2019, Diana Hernandez, my counselor, took me in and I explained to her my fear of college, how everything was so new to me. No one from my family has ever gone to college, and just the freshman experience of making it through the first year. She informed me that the program at Center was a great opportunity to start college as a freshman transferring from high school because it's a program where you get to be surrounded by other students who are as well first generations or just coming from high school in general. And then she also mentioned that there was going to be a lot of support, and it was a process. It was going to be a slow process, a very smoothly process from high school to ACC. So it really like made me want to like join.
And Josie, how about you?
Okay, so when I went to register for classes, I had been going for a couple of weeks already because I was having some trouble with my classes. And once I went to the front desk, they told me that I should have qualified for this program that's called Ascender. Later on, I met with Diana and she was talking to me about what I wanted to study, how did Ascender work, and if I would be interested in going. And once she started talking about the program, I learned that it was for first generations and they have the opportunity to have mentors. That really catch my eye because I do want a mentor. I wanted a mentor because I don't have a role model to go to since I'm a first generation student. So therefore, like I saw it was this great opportunity and it was basically uh, something that I would not be able to turn down.
Great. Can you both tell me about the beginning of your first semester? Like, what was the transition to college like, and how did Ascender help you within that first week or that first month, that first semester?
Josie, you should go first.
Okay, I can. Okay, so as the first week, I was really nervous. Most of my friends were going to full universities at the time, and so it was something that I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to expect. So once I started going to classes, I was like, I don't know anyone that's here. I'm scared. I don't want to make friends. I was mostly shy and I stuck to myself. Then later on, I actually met David and he was very outgoing. So I found a family there, people that I can count on. And I was not really expecting it. I knew I was going to find friends, but not someone that I would grow closer to and finally grow with that person. But it's just us and there really made the transition easier for me to find someone that who was in the same boat as me and eventually keep on going and learning from each other's mistakes on how to continue with.
Thank you. That's beautiful. How about you, David?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Oh, I just said, yeah. So how was it? How was it for you? How did you feel your first part of college? Like whether that be your first week, your first month, your first semester, like how are you feeling and how did Ascender help you in that process of transitioning to college?
Well, the first part that it helped in was the class size. The class size were very small, and the professors were so lovely. I loved all of them, and um, it was for me. It was very easy to make friends. It was very easy to talk to people and participate. And um, after the months went, I started getting kind of stressed because it was something because the classwork was very like more difficult in high school. But then I met Josie and then other people, and then we were all like helping each other. We were on the same boat, and everybody was just very engaging, very supportive.
That's awesome. And how did you feel in terms of within your Ascender classes having like that built-in familia?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, how did it feel to have that built-in familia within the Ascender
It was
classes?
it was it was really cool. It was really nice having friends, having people who were really wanting to learn and really wanting to succeed, and having some big dreams. It was nice seeing that.
How about you, Josie?
Okay, for me, it was very appreciative because I saw people who were in the same boat as me and that were striving for the best because their families maybe didn't have that opportunity to go to college to earn a degree. And it made me happy realizing that I wasn't the only one and I was getting to know more people that I would eventually learn from.
Can you all tell me about a challenge that you might have encountered through your first year of college and how you navigated that challenge?
For me, I would say it was the last paper for composition one, which was my research paper, our research paper, and it was a very, very hard research paper to do. And me and Josie were like very they were sticking together throughout the whole thing. There was a point where I went to her house and we were there for hours studying and helping each other out. And at the end, it worked out. Everything was we got a pretty good grade on it. So that was it was a hard thing, but it worked out.
How about you, Josie?
Okay, for me, it was also English just because it's not my first language.
Mhm.
And some of the papers, I remember writing the first paper, it was challenging because I knew what she wanted, but I didn't know how to get there. And it was just hard navigating through how I used to write and how I need to write, and
Mhm.
just weighing the pros and cons on what to have in my writing and what to not. And it was stressful because I know for me, as English being the second language, I have the tendency to write all my papers in Spanish and later on translating them to English. So it was just hard, but eventually I would get my friends to read through my papers, my husband read through my papers, my teachers, some tutors, and I learned from the mistakes I would do just because now I know what the teacher actually wants.
Wow, so it sounds like for you, Josie, that you were kind of worried about being alone, but you had a big community of support.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the end, did you feel really full of pride and excitement about how you ended up doing in Comp 1 like David?
Yes, I did because eventually every writing that we made, I was learning more and more from. And then once we got into our last paper four, it was something different that had to involve more research and outgoing stuff, that we had to dip our feet into water, that stuff we may not agree with,
Hmm.
and not having to put our opinion into it. And I remember David staying at my house until almost midnight that day before our first draft was due, just to have everything planned out. And I learned a lot from him, just that he was also having trouble with it and learning more, and then getting our grades later on. We were so relieved of what we got and what we accomplished.
That's awesome. Congratulations to you both. That can be really difficult to overcome and not give up. So that's awesome. Um, how has the Ascender program helped you in college now that you're at the end of your first year and you can kind of look back? What has been most meaningful to you?
The connections. For me, the connections, the friends that I made, the times, my professors, um, just the whole thing. It made the whole college, my freshman experience, very significant, and it has made me believe in myself more. So if I transfer to a different university, like I'll be able to handle it because my freshman year was very good.
Good. And Josie?
For me, it made me realize that yes, it was a challenge, but to be outgoing and to be confident with what I have to say and what I want to study, and not being afraid to talk to people who I don't know, because they might be in the same time as me, like going through something. And so I am really happy that I met my mentor at the end, because she had a very positive impact on me. And I just learned so much from all my counselors and my professors, getting to know them, having that one on one and a small group focus. And I know for sure that they will definitely stick with me, all of their criticizes and everything they had to say about me.
So, Josie, you had mentioned at the beginning that part of why you wanted to be in the program was to have a mentor, and you just mentioned your mentor. So, can you maybe talk a little bit about what that mentor relationship looked like, what you may have talked about, or what you learned?
For me, at the beginning, I actually had a mentor who I wasn't very um, really, we weren't communicating as much. And
Mhm.
I love how Megan, she's part of the Ascender program, she helped me find a right mentor for me. Eventually, I met the mentor that I have now, and basically going to talk to her office, we texted, we talked on the phone, and I would tell her my issues and some decisions that I wanted to take in classes, and she would be there to back me up, not only for school wise, but also to encourage me and to help me be more confident in what I have to say. It's just a relationship and a bond that you grow with them, and they will stick with you even if I'm not in the Us and Their program now. I still talk to her, and I still look forward to seeing her and talking to her about what I accomplished in my first year.
Mhm. That's a really beautiful lesson to learn, and for us, I think as support staff to keep in mind for you is just that, it can be hard sometimes. Not everybody can be a mentor, or sometimes that relationship just it doesn't work, right? And it's not at any fault of either one of the people. It's just not getting what you need. So that's awesome to hear about Megan being able to help um, intervene and to be able to get you someone who could help you in the ways that you needed. David, did you have any interaction with a mentor while you were in the program?
I did. My mentor was Diana, and she was my counselor and my mentor, and it went very smoothly. On top of her, I had my godmother, who she was also a big support during my freshman year, and still is. She was she was great. She was amazing. I love her.
That's awesome. Um, so I think something I want to just sort of transition to is, can y'all tell us about how your spring semester has been, especially as COVID-19 set in and really disrupted your semester plans?
Josie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can. Um, Everything started off smooth when January started off, but as COVID-19 started progressing more into the society, it was hard because I am married, and so it was trying to find a new balance again at being at home, school, as well as family.
Mhm.
So it was hard for that family balance, but not only that, having all my classes online, it is a struggle to me still, because the reason why I wanted the 16-week session at ACC was because I needed that one-on-one to see a professor, to visualize everything, being sitting in a classroom. That's how I learn. And it was a challenge for me to just like change that right away without any like knowing that this was going to be the rest of my semester.
Mhm.
And eventually now I learned how to balance it, but it is still a challenge just because I don't know when am I going to go back to
Mhm.
ACC. And financially it's rough because you don't have the exact same experience like going to classes, and then your financial for next fall we still don't know. So I'm a little bit confused of what to do now, just because I want that classroom, but I don't want to stop going to classes just because they're going to be online. So it's a big challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. David, how about you?
Mm, For me, it sucked. It sucked big time because it was during my spring break, so it my spring break lasted like a whole month. There was a whole month that I would not do homework or keep up or anything, that I was lacking a lot. But then I started to notice that my professors they were struggling, and they were still like hanging in there, like keep going and everything. So then that motivated me to say, like, if they can do it, if they're struggling and they're dealing with everything, why can't I? So that's when I started to pick everything up. I did what I had to do, ask questions, email back and forth, whatnot, and I pulled through and I made it, and it has it has made me very really proud of myself.
Good. I'm proud of you. I'm sure that everybody who's on the call is proud of you as well, both of you, for hanging in there, knowing that it was very difficult for that. So, I mean, the two of you have about, I don't know, 15 to 20 people who are faculty members at community colleges, who are advisors, um, people who are invested in their own student success. So, is there something that you wish you had had, or maybe an instructor who did something particularly well that you think they should know and be able to like tell their faculty, do this, like this helps support students? So like David, for instance, you mentioned that your professors were struggling. So was it not that you want them to struggle, but was it nice to know that it wasn't easy for them either?
Yeah, especially for one of my favorite professors, Miss Morgan. She would email me back and she would always check up on me, how I was doing, how if I needed more help, or it was a way, it was just like if she was a friend, just if I could vent to her and on everything. And also I could tell that she was stressing as well. And could tell that she was packed with work and everything. But the but by seeing everything that she did, everything by getting everything done by a certain time, that just made me realize that I could do it too. I can finish chapters in like 3 days if I have to, but I can do it. It's manageable. And so that was my big thing.
Yeah. Josie, how about you? How did you stay motivated?
Definitely looking what I wanted to accomplish and what I have already accomplished, and that I knew I could do it. I just had to hold on a little bit more. I was counting down the weeks, but I was still going. And especially, like David said, our professor, Miss Morgan, I just love how she was being real with us. She was telling us, I struggle, I'm struggling. I know you guys are too, but we're going to get this through. We're going to get this through this. All of us together, we can do it. I love how her positively she was encouraging us. She never stopped, and that motivated me seeing that everyone was still going to the video calls, even though once like no one jumped on, but she texted us, she emailed us, and then she would check up on me. And I really appreciated that to know that there was still someone that we can count on. And if she can do it, then we can too.
Yeah. Yeah. I know sometimes it's been nice as we've gone through this to feel like it's okay to not be okay some days, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So as you all are, I know Josie, you mentioned that there's a lot of uncertainty right now, with financial aid and things like that, but um, thinking positively, hoping that things will return to some kind of normal. What are you looking forward to in your second year of college?
Mm, I'm looking forward to trying out new classes and actually taking more classes that are in my field in the health sciences and physical therapy. And I'm very excited. I don't know. I'm just very excited, like getting to my classes. I really like going to classes, and especially if they have to do with science, health. So that's what motivates me, that I'm one step closer and being able to apply to my program.
David, how about you?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, just as I know that there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but what are you most looking forward to for your second year of college?
Getting back to I love school. I love getting out of the house and just being in a classroom and learning. I love learning. I love meeting people. I love doing all that jazz. But as of now, we just have to be patient and stay to our limit, not do the most. If that means take 2 classes, take them, but not give up.
Yeah. Um, did y'all think that you would love school this much a year ago?
I always loved school. I don't know why. It's like distressing. It's like getting away from problems at home or getting away from being in four walls, meeting people, going around, like being able to learn from other people. That's what I love about school.
And then how do you intend to stay connected to the Ascender program in year two?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, will you stay in touch with the friends you made? Will you stay in touch with your mentor, with with your advisors?
Yeah, for sure. I actually last night I texted Megan and I told her I was like, "Can you send me like my Miss Dillon's and Miss Akers' email because I wanted to reach back and say like how much I appreciate like them and thank you for like having me in their class. Yeah, for sure. Staying connected with all
Sorry.
they would do.
Sorry. This cat. I apologize to everybody. This cat is being ridiculous. This is, working from home. So, Josie, how about you? How do you want to keep in touch with the Ascender program in your year 2?
Definitely keeping in touch with the friends I've made because they are like part of my family already. And talking to Diana, I talked to her about my classes for the summer and we basically planned out my fall semester as well. And reaching out to Megan because they did give me the opportunity, and I always tell them that I really appreciate what they have done to me, taking me into consideration for job offerings and just how to continue my education. And so just reaching out to them along. I text my mentor, I text my counselor, Diana, everyone, just keeping in touch with, especially my friends, because they're part of my family now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. Well, after I untangled this cat from me, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Um, I want to go ahead and transition to the question and answer function just to be able to give folks a chance to ask questions. So if you want to take a couple minutes, folks, if you want to put any questions that you have either in the chat box or in the questions box, then I can go ahead and either unmute you if you want to go ahead and ask David and Josie the questions yourselves, or if you want me to answer it or ask them for you. We did have one question for Dr. Chavez that is just Josie and David, you don't necessarily have to answer it, but I think is a good thing. I was asking, if you had followed. Let me back up. Actually, Josie, I will ask you this question. Dr. Chavez was wondering, have you already applied for financial aid for next year and are just waiting? And that is just the delay in knowing what's going to be available to you next year?
So yes, I did apply for financial aid, just I'm in a very, it's, I'm in a position where it's hard because like I said, I did get married and um my husband didn't do taxes and it's been kind of hard. So we have navigated through that with my counselors and they just told me the best thing was to not apply for financial aid as married, but instead as single. And so I'm waiting to hear back on that, but it's a lot of paperwork and stuff they're asking. Is kind of risky for me to do it, but I did apply for a lot of scholarships, so I'm waiting to hear back on them. For summer, I do have financial aid. It's just that the classes I need, they were full, and so I'm waiting on the wait list as right now.
Great, thank you. Something that I've seen, and this is can be for David and Josie, but for everyone else on the call, the Texas Association of Chicanos in Higher Education, or TACHE, which is an organization that some folks may be familiar with, is offering some scholarships, some emergency funding. I think it's $500 to some students across the state. They do need to be members of the organization, but I think it's a pretty easy organization to join. And if you're a student, I believe it's relatively cost effective to join. So if that's information that you would like me to send you, if you want to send me an email at aaron.doran, DORAN, at catchthenext.org, I would be more than happy to share that with you. I know it's been shared on the TACHE. Again, it's the Texas Association of Chicanos in Higher Education. I know it's been shared on their Facebook group. So if that is something that I can connect your students with, or that information just connect to you, please let me know. I would be more than happy to send it. Let me see. So Lori Coleman wanted me to say thank you for sharing your experiences, David and Josie. You are both true leaders. Do you have advice for the faculty on how to make themselves more approachable?
Breaking the ice for sure in classes, because that was the main thing that happened during the first semester, is breaking the ice. A lot of students were shy, but I would always be the one who like volunteer first. I always try to break the ice. I always try to make other people join the conversation, or sometimes on purpose I would like say something wrong for them to like speak up or say something. So breaking the ice, probably that would be one advice.
Josie, how about you?
One of the things would be honest with them and give experiences, like your personal experience. Try to connect more, because I know well, most of my professors the first semester try to connect with us, especially Miss Morgan, Miss Queen, Miss Akers, but they would try to connect with us. They would be, I was in the same thing. This is what I would do if I was you. Just having that connection, building a connection with each and one of them. Just I don't know. That's basically what I have to say.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Alicia has asked me to unmute her so that she can ask her questions. So Alicia, I'm going to do that. The mic is yours.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can
Awesome.
hear you.
Thank y'all so much. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to David and Josie. Like the previous comment said, y'all are definitely leaders. It's been so inspiring to hear the perseverance in y'all's voices of, I mean, this semester has been a hot mess, right? And it's just been really inspiring to hear how y'all persevered, how y'all worked through these situations. A couple of questions. I've got three different questions, so I know it's a lot. Um, First question is, what advice would you give to class of 2020? So high school seniors who are about to graduate and are planning on enrolling for fall. Two, do you have advice on how we form comunidad virtually? So it's seeming like the semester is going to be virtual. Any advice on that? And then three, what are some resources that y'all leaned on outside of your profes this semester? What are some other resources that you leaned on? So first question, what advice would you give to class of 2020? Two, how do we form comunidad virtually? And three, what are some resources that y'all leaned on outside of your profes this semester? Thank y'all so much. I appreciate time to get to talk to y'all and for y'all taking out time out of your day to share with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So for me, for the 2020 class, I advise them to ask their to check out if their university has the centers so they can join, and also to find a buddy, to find buddies and to help each other out, because that's what really motivates like a student to do well in colleges, having buddies that are going to help each other out. For the virtual communication, I would say checking up on students a lot, up on students and always trying to make them feel like they can do this, and always telling them that everybody's on the same boat. And the another resources that I did during my first year of college was I had a case manager for Goodwill. I was in the Goodwill family, so they were helping me with a lot of things. They were also another support for me to be in college.
Josie, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So advice that I would give to seniors would be confident in yourself. I know that sometimes it's hard because your friends aren't going to the same places as you, but that's better because you get to challenge yourself. Try to find new friends, be open to new people that you may say, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like them. But you don't know that. You may realize that they might be your best friends later on. Like, just be open and confident in yourself, because at the end, you're gonna be there for you, and you're gonna learn from others' mistakes. And just remember that the reason why you're going to college, just know that you're not alone and that you're going to find someone that's going to be there with you and encourage you throughout the way. For the virtual comunidades, definitely, if you're being introduced to people, I know it's hard because you may not know them in person, but try to reach out to them. Try to reach out to the people that are in your classes. I know for one of my classes this semester, there was someone that always, before a test or a quiz, she would say, hey guys, I found this in Quizlet. I'm sending it to y'all. And so try to reach out to that person, because you may not know them face to face, but you can still talk to them. Try to communicate with people, or say, hey, I was thinking if we can be in a group chat or start a video call, and just learning from them, getting closer to them. A resource would be like a resource outside of school, or okay.
I think it's whatever you, however you want to define that.
Okay. Resource outside of school was reaching out to my old teachers in high school and some mentors that I grew closer to in high school that I knew that could benefit me, as well going online and just looking for in your field. I know for me, physical therapy, so I try to reach out to people that are in physical therapy and getting to know them and how did their semester go, what is their advice, especially getting advice from older people that have been through this.
Excellent. So the next comment is from Lillian Wekta, and she says, first, I'm so proud of you both. My question is, can you share some cultural connections you had with your faculty, and was that important to you?
Josie, do you want to go first?
Like, what do you mean?
I think that means however you identify yourself. So you both have mentioned that you were both first gen. Did you have a professor who talked about being first gen themselves? Did you have any connections of being Latino or Latina, of being basically, did you connect any parts of your identity with your professors?
Yeah. For me, my law professor, Mr. Aguilar, he's also a first generation, and he told us his story of when he came to the U.S. and he went to an allied school, and that kind of inspired me to also, like, even if I'm a paralegal right now, if I really love law and everything, I could become a lawyer or something like that. So that hit me as well. The stories and the stories that Miss Morgan gave us to read throughout the semesters, they were very engaging, and especially in the second semester, they were very about my culture, my Mexican culture. I got to find out a lot of the Aztecs. I got to learn a lot about what they believe and what they their values are, and that kind of made me realize it, it got me more engaged with my Mexican culture for sure.
Okay, wonderful. Josie, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so for me, it was one of my teachers that, well, since I am Hispanic and I come from a Spanish language primary family, she wasn't from here. she wasn't Hispanic, but she came from Africa. And so her story was really eye-opening to me because she got a doctorate degree and now she's a psychologist teacher. And so knowing that her experience wasn't easy and it wasn't given to her, as right now for me it's basically an opportunity that my parents are giving to me, but she had to work hard and that she had to learn English and struggle, and people made fun of her for her English, and up to this day she still struggles with it, but she's okay with that. And learning from her that my English isn't perfect and I still stutter, and I know I can do better, but I just have to be open and accept what everyone has to say about me, and that my English may never be perfect, but I know that she went through this, she got a doctorate's degree, and she didn't let um her mind and everyone else stop her. And so it was just very knowing that there was someone that went through that and I could connect.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Jonathan has asked, what do David and Josie think are the best recruitment methods for the Ascender program?
What's a recruitment method?
Um,
Um,
just just in terms of connecting the students, so you two, with this program.
Josie, do you want to go first?
okay. I would say going to high schools and talking to the seniors. Just because I know sometimes it's easier for people to come to us, but I was scared to ask if there were any programs for first gen because I wouldn't want to let them know, hey, I'm first generation. I'm shy to say that and I'm scared. I was scared because I don't know what if they would laugh at me. What if other people heard me and then I get bullied or because I'm first gen and I don't have no one to look up to. So definitely going to high schools and trying to relate to them to see if that helps open the students up. Because if they can relate to someone and maybe bringing in people that have been in the program that can share their experience and learn from them, that it's okay to let them know that you're a first generation. Because for me, I was scared telling Diana, yeah, I'm first generation. These are some of my family issues. And just going to schools and letting them know that there's this program and some experiences that they're going to have.
Mhm.
I would add on, I agree with Josie going into high schools and talking about the Ascenders program. I've done that with a lot of high school friends that I had and have as in the moment. I've always mentioned them, if you're going to college, ask to join the Ascenders program. It will be a great opportunity for you to transfer from high school or from just coming in. It's a great opportunity. It runs very smoothly and you get a lot of help. You don't feel alone. And if you feel like walls are falling, you can talk to someone, and especially Diana. Diana can be very blunt with you, very honest with you, but she tried her best to make you feel fine being in college.
So something I wanted to come back to, Josie, just so you know, Megan was listening to what you were talking about your experience of feeling like your English wasn't perfect or your writing wasn't perfect. So I wanted to be sure that I mentioned that Megan wrote, "Girl, you are great," that your English is beautiful, and that you should never feel embarrassed about that. And I think we all agree. And then Megan also said that she wanted the opportunity to jump in and answer the question about recruitment. So Megan, I'm going to unmute you. Can you hear me? See, Megan, you are on my list a couple of different times, so I'm trying to pick the right one to unmute. Let's see.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, yes, we can.
I mean, Josie, your English is great. I mean, I immigrated from Mexico when I was 21 years old, and I still make a ton of mistakes. I've been living more than 20 years in the United States, and it's still very hard for me to adapt, but you have to embrace your English,
Oh
your
shoot, my boss is talking. I'll be right back.
and I don't know, it says that I'm not coming in your list as Alejandra. Well, okay, I'm Alejandra. But I'm gonna say that since day one, Josie and David, both of them were shy. And now I see them and they are rocking it. I mean, you guys, I'm so proud of you and I'm so proud of my team. Megan is her first year of working with us, and I'm so glad that she connected you, David and Josie, with your instructors, with your mentors, with Diana. So I'm very proud of what you guys accomplished, and I know that this is not the end, that you're going to places. In terms of the recruitment part, somebody asked what was the question for recruitment, the recommendations for recruitment. I think this is a question for administrators, and I think what I can tell you guys is that having students like Josie and David give testimonials about the program when you guys visit high schools or other programs, it influences students in a very positive way, and it encourages them to join the program. I think that's a wonderful key, to use your students as PR, not PR, but like you know, they are the voice. They are the people who experience the program, and they are the voice of the program. I think that when you go and talk to young people, they will listen the students more than us, because their experience is real, is honest, and I think if you can use your students, invite them to participate in forums like this, it will help to boost your enrollment.
I'm muted. It's so wonderful. Thank you for that, Alejandra. Are there any final questions before we wrap up? Something as folks might be typing the last question or anything, something I wanted to point out that Deborah reminded me to give a shout out to is know that the transfer conference is coming up on June the 5th, and that there will be a session on financial aid and scholarship opportunities. So David, Josie, we hope that you can be there. It is a virtual conference. And for everyone else, please try to get your students to sign up for it and to participate in it. You know, I think that given where we are right now, it is a double-edged sword to ask people to want to participate in a virtual space, another virtual space. But it's an opportunity for us to keep that community in a time of really uncertain times. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Ann Fletcher, who is an Austin Community College teacher in English and INRW, says she doesn't have any questions, but I think both of you have been terrific today, and I've taken notes on your advice and suggestions. Gail Malone has said, thank you all. Oh, Yolanda says that she has a question, so I'm going to unmute Yolanda really quickly, and then if there's any other questions or anything else to be said, let me know, but we'll plan on, since it's 3:55, we'll plan on Yolanda being one of the last questions. So,
Hi, excuse me. Hi, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much to David and Josie. I really appreciated you sharing your experiences about the program. It really resonated with me because we needed to hear, and I especially needed to hear your stories. And I'll tell you why, is because right now As you all know, as we all know, this has been one of the most challenging and most difficult semesters that we've ever had. And I noticed that you all said that you all had challenges, and your professors also had challenges. I know I did, and my students did, and we exchanged our challenges back and forth. But one of the questions that I have is that we're struggling with what we're going to do in the fall of 2020. The reason is because we're so used to doing our classes face to face. Plus, one of the hooks that we have and bring our students in is that we have Noche de Familia, we take them on tours, we do cultural experiences together, we meet regularly as groups, and we do all these fun things and bring them together, and that's how they make friends. And what we don't know what we're going to do is how are we going to do this program and make connections and do all those fun events virtually. Do you think it's possible, and how, Josie and David? How can we make this work?
Josie, do you want to go first?
I'll go. Definitely, I do think it's possible. Maybe it is going to have to change a little bit just because we are in separate homes and separate communities. But definitely, I would say trying to meet at least in the video call once a week, maybe, because letting them know that you're still going to be there and still going to encourage them to keep on with their classes, and maybe like having a one-on-one and then meeting everyone, playing some games online. I know that the Ascender program where they were gonna do a loteria online, and I bet it was really fun. Unfortunately, I couldn't go, but having stuff like that will catch their eye and say, yeah, we're gonna talk about school, but also there's fun things going on that maybe like we can't bring to you in person, but finding a way to do it virtually and having their attention, and that they're not alone. Just mixing it up with games, but also like getting to the point of what needs to be done.
Okay, thank you, Josie.
I would add with Josie, just have an online meeting, just talk about everything, anything. Just part of them, because a lot of students are going through things that they feel shy about, but probably seeing other stories from individuals can inspire them to open up and kind of give out their opinions on how they can improve such things.
Okay, thank you, David. That was very helpful.
So I know we're coming up on 4 o'clock. Mona Aldana Ramirez wanted me to tell you, David, that she's watching with her daughter and that her daughter loves your nails. And so, Maria Marta has asked me to remind all of the teachers that we have some ongoing seminars next week on the 27th, and to please be, please be around for those. And then Alejandra, it sounded like you wanted to ask one more thing about the virtual, that you wanted to add something about the virtual spaces. So
yes, I mean, hello everybody again. I think Yoli, I don't know if you're going to attend the CPN seminar next week, but I have some suggestions. I mean, I don't know the answers, and I don't know if these things are going to work. I feel exactly like you about events, tours, and things like that. We scheduled a couple of tours last month, and of course they were canceled, but the Transfer Resource Academy provided the tours virtually online. And we did some activities online, like playing loteria. We're also planning to do a virtual coffee poetry, where students read their poetry or their stories. We're planning activities like that where students have the space to express. Of course, it's horrible that we're not gonna be able to see each other, but Megan and I we have some ideas that might help other community college. I don't know if they're gonna be effective or not, but we're gonna try. I mean, it's horrible, and you feel with a lot of anxiety because we don't know how we're going to be able to sustain the program using this format of everything online. But we're gonna try. I mean, the big problem that we have is recruitment, and but we're fighting, and we're trying to keep the hope high, and invite students who experience the program to help us.
Great, thank you, Alejandra. Since we are at 4:02, I just want to say, so Maria Dr. Chavez has added her comment to David and Josie that she's so proud of you and thank you. I think we all feel exactly the same way. Congratulations on completing your first year of college, in getting through it despite a really scary situation and a not ideal delivery format and all that good stuff. So yeah, so folks, we have a lot of exciting events coming up over the next couple of weeks for students and for our staff and faculty partners. We hope to see you engage with those. And other than that, thank you very, very much for attending. This was wonderful. And David and Josie, thank you and keep going.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, take care, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.